Hello creative friends, this is Joy coming to you with another art journal page. So this particular art journal page has a background of gears that I created a while ago. This is my Dylusions 8x8 art journal that I recently got, and I did a video showing you how to do different backgrounds, which I will put a link to that down below so that you can see how I created this background and several others that I created in this art journal. So I like this picture. I figured with the gears and stuff, I would do kind of something steampunky, for this page. And I like this picture of the woman with the hat, and she's got like a watch and the feathers. But I was debating on what to do, like whether to take a copy of her and put her on the page or do something different. But I decided to do something different. I found this image of this girl that I really liked in a magazine, and she has a necklace on that's got like some heavy kind of things hanging on the necklace, like a key and some other heavy metal objects. So I really liked it, and I decided to do kind of a similar thing on the hat for her hair. I actually tried to draw a hat like that with the feathers and everything for her, but it didn't quite look right. So then I'm like, well, I'll just do the part that I like, which is the feathers and the watch. So I found a watch in a magazine that I cut out, and then as you saw there, I just took a paper towel that had some spray inks on it and cut out these feather shapes, and then I'm using a black marker to draw on these pieces to the lines and everything to make the feather shape to get the effect that I'm looking for this particular art journal page in this image. Also have another found another actually there was a couple of watches that I found in journal pages that I cut out, and the other one was smaller and didn't seem to look look right or work as well. So actually I ended up making that as part of another item hanging off of her necklace because I thought it looked cute and it went with the other things that she had on her necklace. So I ended up adding that to the image as well. So here I'm trying to trace around the outside of these feathers with the black and then do the lines on the feathers to get the, like I said, the effect that I'm looking for. And then I found some gears in my stash. Let's see, what do we have there? I've got a key. I've got a plate that looks like a lock plate that I'm going to put on this page. So I'm deciding on how she's going to fit on the page. And I'm not going to be able to fit the whole image on there, as you can see, but because of the headpiece that I'm wanting to put on her. But, that's okay. I don't know that the whole thing needs to be on there anyway. So I'm using the glue dots to glue that watch onto the feathers, and then now I'm putting that on her head as a headpiece. So now once I get that where on her head where I wanted it to be, I figure out how she's going to be positioned on the page and how much of her I'm going to be able to put down on the page. And there I'm gluing that other little piece of a clock on her necklace. So once I determine, how far up she's going to be, I just crease it to see where, you know, it's going to need to be cut, and then I trim off the bottom. And I'm using this it's called extreme glue, to glue her down on the page. I like this extreme glue because it works really well. I haven't had any problems with it, to glue things down with. It seems to work pretty good. So I get her all glued down, and then with the feathers, I don't glue them completely down, but I do put a little bit of glue on the back of each one just to make sure that they are down and they stay. in place so that they don't get too, to where they, get messed up or fall off or what have you. So I'm figuring out where I want to put these gears and how I want them positioned, and I'm trying to put them in areas where at least you'd be able to see them because they kind of blend in with the background. And the key, I'm trying to figure out where am I going to put the key, where am I going to put the lock plate on the page. And once I decide where I want everything and how I want everything positioned on the page, I have some heavy bond glue that I use to glue these pieces down on the page. So that's what I'm using here is some heavy bond glue. And this actually is the glue that I like to use, and it works very well. And it's quick dry, and so it takes a little bit of time to dry, but not as long as you would think, given that it's a thicker, heavier glue. But it works great, especially for heavier pieces like these gears and the key and the lock plate. Now, because the key is a little bit heavier object, and the edge of my paper was kind of curling a little bit, you'll see here when I get it glued down, I do have to put, a weight on top of it to get it to stay down. And I have a couple of quotes in my stash that I'm possibly going to use on this page, so I'm trying to figure out, what I want to put on this page. And that one yellow one at the top, I decided I really didn't want it on the page. It seemed to cut the pages in half and cover up too much of my background. So I decided to do away with that one and just go with the other quote there at the bottom. So I grabbed some brads because this lock plate has a couple of holes in it. So I'm trying to find the color brads that would fit the plate. There's like some shiny gold ones in there, antique gold ones, silver, different color brads in this particular pack. So I'm trying to find the ones that seem to go with it the best, which is the antique gold. And then I'm trying to adhere it down. So I'm using both the glue dots to help hold this on, as well as the heavy bond glue that I have to glue this plate down on the page. And this is where, my pages start to get really thick when I like to add elements like this. So I did, and you'll see if you watch the other video with where I created these backgrounds, I did pull out some pages from this journal, and I'll be pulling out more pages so that, by the time I fill this journal up with all of these journal pages and with elements on it, then, it won't be hopefully too awfully big. So this is one of the pages that I pulled out of this journal, and that's where I drew and cut out the hat, but I didn't really like it on this image. It didn't quite turn out or look right. So I decided that this quote needed some kind of a background, or needed to be on something instead of just glued to the page. So I glued that on there, and then I took my Posca pens and did like a little border around it, and then traced around it with used a black ink pad to put ink around the edges, which you'll see that here in a minute. But the quote says, "I remember that the real world was wide, and that a varied field of hopes and dreams, of sensations and excitements awaited those who had courage to go forth into its expanse." So I like that. Charlotte Bronte. So I really like the quote, so I thought that was kind of appropriate on this page. So I put that on there on the cardstock, and like I said, did kind of like almost like a chain around it, and then edged it with the black ink pad, and then used those bond glue dots to adhere it down, because again, the paper is kind of heavy and thick, and I just wanted to make sure that it stayed down well, and I figured it would, the glue dots would work the best for adhering this down, but some of them wanted to kind of curl up, so I was trying to straighten them out. But that's pretty much the art journal page for today. I hope you liked the video. And if you do, you can hit the like button, or if you want to see more, you can hit the subscribe button, or you can leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I hope you guys like this art journal page. I had a lot of fun creating it. I really like the steampunk style, and so I thought that it was appropriate to do something like that for this page with the gears on it. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.